Have a seat on your porcelain throne. It's time to talk some shit on the Powell Movement.
Welcome to the Powell Movement. I'm your host, Mike Powell, and this week is another quiet week for my house. Life hasn't been this quiet for some time, and I'm starting to feel for all you single folks out there. I mean, what the fuck do you do? So far, I've been by myself for a little over 3 months, and while I'm not looking for a partner, I am looking to fill time outside of bars and drinking. I need a productive habit. Sure, I have skiing in the winter, but what do I do while I'm waiting for winter? I'm not sure. I'm supposed to be at a place in life where everything is easy. 2 more years with a kid at home, and then Ange and I were supposed to live the easy life. Well, I'm the only one living right now, and that sucks, and it's not easy. I can't stop thinking about what I had, but I need to get real and move forward with what I have. And right now, that's an awesome kid and 2 jobs. One creating podcasts, and the other for diecutstickers.com being the director of outside sales. If you need stickers, tents, or magnets, hit me up and I will save you money. I haven't been selling too many stickers lately, so I really need you to email me at mike.powell@diecutstickers.com. But if not, and you don't need stickers, that's all good. Just sit back and be entertained as I have an amazing podcast for you this week. Emily Childs is a helicopter pilot and a founding member of the blonde ski crew that took the world by storm. And on the podcast, we talk about beer, flying, and her pro ski career that she developed without a pro resume. Before we get into it, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank Liquid Force for supporting the show again. It's their last episode as a sponsor this year, and if you haven't used the code in their ad to buy a wakeboard, a foil, or a wake surfer, now is the time to do that. You can also get life jackets and soft goods and just about everything Liquid Force makes. So please check them out. I also want to thank and have you check out the rest of my incredible sponsors who make this show happen week in and week out. I am talking about Elan Skis, Stanley, Best Day Brewing, and Outdoor Research. Now, it's time to chat with Emily Childs. These days, I believe you live in Squamish and you're a homeowner there, but you're a different kind of homeowner, like you own it with 3 other people. What's the deal with that?
I do, yeah. So it's technically a duplex, but not legally. So it's one title. So we all share the house, but we kind of each have one side. Yeah, it's a bit of a different situation, I guess, but it works out. It's me and my 2 friends and my partner. So, yeah.
What happens if your other 2 friends get partners as well? Then you have a shitload of people living with you.
So no, it's my boyfriend and myself, and then his longtime friend and his wife as well. So yeah, we're all partnered up, so we shouldn't be getting any more partners.
All right, well, it sounds like a weird scene out of a crazy movie, and I can just leave it at that. Is it because everything costs so much up there that you have to split a house?
Oh yeah, it's crazy expensive in Squamish. It's a nice place to live, but it's really expensive compared to some other places in BC for sure.
I mean, not that you have to tell me how much your house is worth, but is an average house there worth 800, 900 grand just because you're close to Whistler and in the tournament capital of the world or whatever it is?
Yeah. In Squamish, I think a detached goes for over $1 million. So 1.2 is, I think, the average off the top of my head. You can get a townhouse for 700,000-800,000, I think. So yeah, it's pricey. Really? That's Canadian though, so.
I mean, it's still a lot of money regardless of it's Canadian or not, and that fluctuates.
That's right.
And I would think in the town that you live, I mean, it's got to be chock full of mountain famous neighbors. Who are the names of the people that you see at the coffee shop on any given day?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite the crew here. I mean, I will see mostly not at the coffee shop. I usually drink coffee at my house.
Or anywhere. Who do you see
of? Mark Abma is a big name around. Leanne Pelosi at the trailhead. Just all of the people in Whistler. Yeah, it's some big names here. Yeah.
And I'm going to assume, and we're going to talk about it later, but I'm going to assume when you were coming up in your ski career that you were a Grom and you were super into the culture as a kid. When you get to a place like Whistler, I mean, I know you were in Revy and other places as well, but Whistler is the Hollywood of Canadian skiing, I feel like. And when you get there, do you get to ski with some of maybe people that you were like idolized growing up?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Especially when I was younger. I remember meeting Rory Bushfield for the first time and I was pretty starstruck. And now, yeah, you kind of get used to it and you just see all the people and get to ski with them. So we're pretty lucky. Yeah, that's for sure.
Bushy is a very unique individual. And when you meet him, I'm sure he over delivered and just like he is always having more fun than anybody else.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
back then. What's your best Bushy story from back then where you're like, God, that guy's
Such a
fucking
good guy.
crazy?
We're not like friends, I wouldn't say. I just know of him. But yeah, we hear him flying around in his plane sometimes. We're used to. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of crazy Bushy stories, but I don't know him personally.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's my little intro. And in doing my research, there's a lot about your life that happens after you move to like this small ski hill at 10, but not much about it before then that I could find out. I think it's you and like two siblings. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Calgary and grew up, well, it was the outskirts of Calgary across from COP. My parents ran a garden center there. And then when I was about 8, we moved to Quesnel, a little bit outside of Quesnel at a ski hill called Troll Resort, which my grandpa started.
How far is Quesnel from Calgary? It's like you're moving pretty far, right?
Yeah, it's like 12-hour drive.
Yeah, totally. So you're like gone from Calgary.
Yeah, yeah, we moved away, yeah, into BC and yeah, spent my rest of my growing up there. Yeah.
And so another thing that you didn't hear about or I couldn't find out about in your background is much about your dad. And what's the backstory with him? Because it sounds like your mom eventually takes over the ski area and it's your family and your mom. And I don't hear much about your dad. Is there a backstory?
So my dad stayed in Calgary pretty much.
Okay.
And he kept running the garden center. So he's around still. He's still, doing dad stuff. He was just visiting me actually yesterday. So yeah, he's just does the odd job now and then.
Okay. So you go from the big city of Calgary and then your dad stays. Everybody else goes with your mom to the Quinset or whatever's near Troll?
Yeah, Quesnel, yeah.
Okay. And so you go there. Is it going from like the city to going to the country or like Redneckville?
Yeah, I would say Quesnel is definitely more redneck than but Calgary's kind of a country city as well. It's kind of like a smaller version of Denver in Canada, I guess.
Okay.
Some people say that anyways. So Quesnel is a lot smaller. It's not like tiny though. It was 15,000 people, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's not like
small
a teeny...
town vibe. Yeah, and then we lived out of town, so we were kind of, in the woods.
And did skiing pretty much start for you there, or were you skiing in Calgary and then it kind of transitioned when you got there?
We went back and forth for like Christmas because we would go up to Troll, and so we'd ski there mostly, but a few years, I think we had seasons passes at Sunshine Village, so we would go up there and we'd load 6 people in the truck. Me and my grandma would come often, and my mom and dad and my sister and brother, and we'd drive up to Sunshine and ski there. I remember that was pretty fun as a little kid.
Well, unfortunately, I guess your grandfather passes away and your mom eventually takes on running the whole ski resort. And
yeah,
was that something that she like had to do, or was it like a choice? Like, okay, kids, we're going to go do this. Or it was like, man, we lost grandpa and now I have to take the reins.
Yeah, it was kind of. She has 4 siblings, so 3 sisters and a brother. It was pretty like traditional. So I think everyone thought that my uncle was going to take it over, and then that ended up not working out. So she kind of stepped up and said, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. And because it was hard in the start, like it was not making money really, and kind of like the family farm, the family business, as she would say. And yeah, she was like, I don't know, maybe we should like try and sell. And I guess us kids were like, no way, you can't sell it. We got to run this thing. So yeah, she likes to tell that story.
So when you get there, it's not like you're royalty. It's like you are the owner of the ski resort who has to make sure the resort keeps running. So are you guys all working? Is it like you, your mom, sister, and brother all doing all the different jobs and doing everything at the resort?
We would definitely pitch in as kids. I mean, as much help as kids can be. We'd do like firewood and work in the kitchen and, all the after hours work. But we went to school, of course, as well. So my mom really, she put in the long hours for sure. She's been doing it for a while now. She's always working.
So when you own the ski resort, do you have a place that's like ski in, ski out, and the ski experience for you is pretty phenomenal?
Oh yeah. We could ski right from our front door to the T-bar. You'd have to like skate ski a little bit, but yeah, we were pretty much the only ski in, ski out because our house was right there. Lots changed in the last 10 years, so a lot more cabins have been put up and a few more long-time residents, but back then it was kind of just us and like maybe 6 houses were like a little drive away. You could walk, but yeah, there wasn't like ski in, ski out. It's not like Aspen or anything like that, or Whistler. Yeah.
And then when you're affiliated with the mountain as well, when you own the mountain as well, can you do whatever you want? Like there are no rules from patrol or whatever. So you just kind of give them the finger, like not give them the finger, but you're kind of like, I own this place, whatever.
We definitely had some run-ins with some of the lifties, and Bill is one of the prominent guys that he's getting older now, but he runs the Snowcat and did a lot of the operations work, and we've had our run-ins with them for sure. But no, it was more like we got away with some stuff, but we kind of were the examples that were made out of people that broke the rules, I think. They chased us around a little bit.
Yeah, and it starts out with you just being, I think you did a little bit of ski racing to start out with, and I don't think you really did well at ski racing or was anything that you were into, and kind of just looking at your history over time, was ski racing more like a regimen and rules that you didn't really like?
Yeah, I would say that, as well as I wasn't good at it. It's probably one of the main reasons why I didn't continue. I got like second last place, I remember, in a race, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. But I loved skiing with all of the racers when we got to free ski. I remember that pretty clearly, that was the best. I was like, oh, okay, this is fun.
Do you start focusing on jumps and like hitting rails and stuff? I mean, do you guys have a terrain park at Troll?
Yeah, so we kind of started the terrain park when we moved there, like a couple years after, I want to say. It was kind of the beginning of all terrain parks, really.
So it's like 2002-ish?
Yeah, it would have been 2003, I think. So yeah, probably started the terrain park in 2004. And so we were, pretty involved in that. We helped as much as we could, again, as kids, but painted the rails and moved them around and kind of figured out where the jumps would go. And yeah, it was super fun.
And then could you just lap T-bars and get like 100 laps a day in the park?
Well, the T-bar is really long, actually. It's like the second longest T-bar in North America, I think.
No way.
Was the claim to fame.
Do you guys have a t-shirt that's like, this T-bar is the second longest in North America?
No, my mom doesn't really like to market that because people don't really, it's not really like a marketing feature, That doesn't sound fun.
No, I guess it really doesn't sound like fun.
People, they've always, when's the chairlift coming? But, I really like the T-bar. I think it's great. And you don't get stuck on the T-bar. If it stops, you can just get off. And you don't get stuck in the wind. It's not as cold. I'm a big fan. And you get to ski uphill and downhill. So,
all right, marketing the T-bar right there.
Yeah, let's go.
I remember I interviewed Janelle, one of the blondes that we'll talk about in a bit. But she said when she met you, I think you had just thrown a 3 and you had blue hair and she thought you were a boy. And that was years later. But what did you look like in your park days?
Yeah, when I met Janelle, I don't know, I think lots of girls can relate, but I cut my hair pretty short. Time for a change, I guess, and dyed it like bleach blonde. And yeah, they called me the little pink boy because I just wore this like pink jacket and skied around with no poles, like a lunatic. And that's when I met Janelle.
Even before that, though, I mean, when you're at Troll and you're kind of coming up before you and you're in the park a lot, I mean, what was your look? Because I mean, I know it was like the tall tee
Oh,
era.
yeah.
And were you
Yeah.
wearing like as big a clothing as you possibly could, and like your mom laughing at you? Like, do you really want me to buy the triple XL jacket for you?
Yeah, some pretty funny outfits. The baggy pants and the long cotton hoodie. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the look for sure. I think it's coming back though. I think the baggy pants are back.
The baggy pants are definitely coming back, but it's almost like more 90s baggy pants, and it's more like out on the street. I don't know about on the mountain, really. I guess baggy
Yeah.
pants never went away on the mountain, except for like with a small faction of people. But either way, were you
Totally.
watching Poor Boys and Level 1, and who were the kind of people that inspired you in skiing when you were just the Grom at Troll?
Yeah, I mean, we watched all of the bigger name movies. Level 1, I Trip was like, I remember like the perfect timing for that for me. A lot of MSP movies. I mean, all those guys, they were all inspiring.
I mean, were you
You
the
know?
type of kid that had posters on their walls of skiers and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah. I remember having a lot of those posters on my wall from the I Trip movie. Yeah, and then of course the girls were really the most
But you say the girls, like what girls were?
important. Sarah Burke, of course, and
Yeah.
Ingrid Backstrom. Those were the big ones. So really looked up to those girls.
It's time for my first sponsor break, and I'm going to start out with Liquid Force. And not only are they back supporting the podcast, but this summer, they're bringing back the most important party and event in wakeboarding. That's right, Brostock is back, and the contest features the best riders in the world. But you know what's more fun than watching the pros ride? Riding with them. And you can ride with the Liquid Force pros like Daniel Grant, Claudia Pagini, and Gunther Oka at a local lake or cable park near you at their Ride with the Pro Tour. And while Liquid Force is doing all these great things to build community on the water, they're also on the forefront of product innovation. And if you're a foil frother, you're going to want to check out the new FuseLock foil system. Wake surfers are going to love the all-new Ace and Synchro offerings. And the 2025 line features fresh boards, rad graphics, and more comp vest colorways than ever before. Park to boat to foil, Liquid Force has gear for every rider type, whether it's boat, cable, foil, or surf. To find out more about the events and the products, head on over to liquidforce.com. And when you see something you like, put it in your cart, and when you check out, enter the code POWEL15, that's all caps with no spaces, and you will save 15% off your order. Liquid Force, feel the pull. Next up, it's Elan Skis. And Elan doesn't need to support this podcast in the summertime. I've said that every summer. But they do it because they understand the importance of cultivating the stories that make the snow industry what it is. But if you haven't noticed, while they've always been big in Europe, Elan has built a growing cult following here in the States. It all started with the still thriving ripstick revolution that made skiing easier and more fun for anyone that tried them. That same idea, easier and more fun, is what they delivered to their Playmaker series of twin tips. How does Elan deliver a better ski experience? Well, it's all about using the best materials known to man. And that's no joke. This is the same Elan that's known for building award-winning luxury yachts, so they never cut corners. And the fit and finish is better than anything else on the ski wall. Seriously, if you pick one up and you look at the edges and you see those seams of glue on all the different skis, look at Elan's and you're going to see a seamless pairing because they do take that additional time to pay that attention to detail, and it's awesome. And it makes everyone feel like they're making pro-level turns. And that's what skiing is all about, that feeling. So remember, before you buy your next pair of skis, demo a pair of Elans, or just head on over to elanskis.com, pick a pair, and elevate your skiing experience. My final sponsor this round is Best Day Brewing. And while I love the taste of a good beer, I don't always need the alcohol. I mean, my life revolves around driving my kid places, running errands, interviewing people, managing my family, and all of these things I do better when I don't have a head full of alcohol. That's where Best Day comes in. These days, if I'm not partying, I'm still having beers, and those beers are from the award-winning Best Day Brewery. And there are a lot of NA beers out there right now, but none taste as good as Best Day. I love the hazy IPA, the Kolsch that you can get on all Alaska airline flights, and everyone seems to like the Electro Lime Cerveza. I could go on and on as they have so many flavors, and I love them all. The beauty of Best Day is that they average about 60 calories and they won't get you in trouble. And pro tip, if you're partying, try to mix in a Best Day for every alcoholic beverage you have, and it will extend your night. It does it for me, and it keeps me from doing anything stupid. To have your best day or night ever ever, head on over to bestdaybrewing.com. If you make that order over $50, we'll also throw in free shipping. Those are my sponsors. Now let's jump back into the podcast. I saw the other day you posted something of where you won a rail jam like way back in the day. So you're skiing park and you're winning rail jams and doing stuff like that back in the day. And was the thought process like, I'm going to be a pro skier and you're going to see me at the X Games one day? Did you have that mentality?
Yeah, I don't remember really watching the X Games as much, but yeah, I thought I'd be like in the movies doing the rails, and yeah, that was totally the dream. Yeah.
Were you going to contests and winning contests? Because I was looking for results and stuff, and the way your career went, it's like there wasn't much success in any of the places that a lot of people have success until you just became pro.
No.
And we'll talk about that. It's pretty cool how you did it compared to a lot of other people.
Yeah, I mean, there's not as many, I would say, like big contests. Like, yeah, we'd always have the rail jams at Troll, and I would, for the most part, be the only girl, so I would win.
Okay.
So I think we'd go down to like Sun Peak, but that's pretty small too. And we didn't get in the car and go road tripping to different contests or anything. It was just, more like this is for fun. And I don't know. I did do some free ride world qualifiers, but obviously I didn't qualify for the tour, but I think I won one of them.
Oh.
And then I was kind of just on and off again in university, doing it on the side. So
Before you get to university, so your dream in high school is to become a pro skier in the park and pipe stuff, or I mean, probably in the parks, whatever. But
yeah,
I guess in Canada, you kind of go through like a provincial system and you kind of graduate up and graduate up. Were you in that system where you were actually making progress and making headwinds into making a career of it?
No, not at all. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I don't think so. I didn't really know the path to it, Like,
No, you have to figure it out on your own.
I think as a teenager, I was like, oh, someone's going to notice me and I'm going to get in the movie. Like, I think that was my all right, just going to ski super hard and wait till someone notices me. But that obviously didn't happen until later.
Do you go straight from high school to do some college right away?
Yeah, I went to University of Calgary right after high school. Did a semester of engineering, and then I did a semester of general science, and then I didn't do that anymore.
Okay. And so when you decide not to do it, it's like, do you transition from school to moving to a mountain town where you can kind of go find yourself for a year?
So after that, I went to Italy to do a bit of au pair work. My sister had a connection there, so I went there for a few months. I was supposed to stay for the year or whatever, and I was like, ooh, could really go skiing. I brought my skis to Italy thinking I was going to go skiing, but I didn't. So I went back and then skied that winter. I went to Big White and I worked there after that for events. And then from there, I went to Mount Hawthorne in Australia. I got a job in events there. And then I went to Apex and I worked there in events as well.
So you were always doing real jobs. It's like when you dropped out of school or however you want to call it, I was going to ask if your parents were super bummed, and maybe they were bummed for a minute, but it's not like you were just a ski bum smoking weed and not doing anything. You were doing events at everywhere you went. You were just traveling the world to do it, which is even cooler.
Yeah. I mean, you need a job to make money so you can live. So yeah, I've got some work experience, and the goal was always, I'll finish school. I'm just going to do a year off or ski for a little bit.
But then you end up going, then I'm going to go to Australia, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go there. And that becomes 4 years. And you're doing skiing and stuff in the winter. And then in the summer, it's like you have all different kinds of jobs. I mean, most Canadian ski bums that I interview, when they need to make money in the summer, it's like they're either planting trees or fighting fires. Did you do both of them?
Yeah. Yeah, I did both of that too. Yeah, I think that was just after my stint in events work. I went tree planting because I had some friends that worked tree planting. So I did that for a spring, summer.
And that's hard work, right? It's not easy like events.
Oh my gosh. Tree planting was the hardest job. Yeah, it was definitely the hardest. And firefighting was difficult as well. But tree planting is, something else. You actually have to work to make any money. I wasn't very good at it.
Do you get paid per tree?
Per tree, yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that's got to be crazy. And then being a firefighter, is that something where you're just like, hey, yeah, I'm just going to do this for a summer? Or do you have to get training to actually be a firefighter? Because I would think there are some dangerous situations there.
Yeah. Wildfire fighting, you do like boot camp they do in the spring. So I got accepted into that program and they trained me. And then I did that for the summer, thinking that maybe I would do it for a few years, but I only did it for the one. And then I skied in Revelstoke for another year, went back tree planting, and then I got my helicopter license.
Yeah, first, when you're firefighting, are there any close calls or scary situations when you're out there in the woods and there's fires going on?
Yeah, actually, we did have a bit of an event. One of the guys I was working with when we were getting hoisted out, so we were on rappel firefighting. So you like go down the rope into the forest, into like a hole in the trees, and then you fight the fire on the ground, and then you get hoisted back out because there's nowhere for the helicopter to land.
So they're long lining you in?
So you're rappelling in. So it's different than long lining. You basically have like a rappel device and you rappel down the rope into the forest. And then they hoist you back out, usually. So you just like clip in to this. It's just a hoist out of the helicopter, and then they hoist you back up. But when he was overhead, the helicopter, he blew a tree over, and it hit the other guy that I was with, and we had to medevac him out of there. So he ended up breaking his back. He's okay now, but yeah, it was a long recovery.
Were you clipped in with him right there?
So we weren't clipped in. We were all looking up at the helicopter, and as he was like about to lower the hoist hook, the tree fell over and hit him. So we had to, get him out of there.
Oh man, that's crazy.
It was wild. Yeah.
And then I think there was some inspiration from firefighting that made you book like just a lesson or something with a helicopter a couple years before you even started flying for real.
Yeah, it was actually before I started firefighting. So I did the FAM flight, the familiarization flight in Langley, I think. I don't know. I just went and did that and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. But you need a lot of money to go to school for that. So I was like, oh, I'll work firefighting this summer and save a bunch of money and see if I can go to school the next year. So yeah. And then we got a lot of experience firefighting around helicopters. So that was helpful. And actually that's how I got my first job in flying as well, through one of the pilots we flew with in firefighting. So
it's all who you know, right? With everything?
Networking is a good tool.
And we might as well talk about getting your pilot's license now, because I was going to do it later, but we just started talking about it. So you say it costs a lot of money. How much does it cost to get your pilot license from start to finish? Do you think, how much do you have to spend?
It's about $65,000. Now I think it's probably up to $75,000, $80,000. Yeah.
And that includes all your classroom time, all your flight time and everything?
Yeah, that's total. So, yeah.
And how long does that take you? I mean, is that like a couple-year process where you have to learn?
It took me 4.5 months, I think. 5 months. Pretty quick.
Wow. Is that why more helicopters crash than airplanes?
That's not true.
I don't know. I have no idea. But it just seems like 4.5 months is a really short time to get your license when you're...
It's really short. And that's why almost anyone can get their license. But the hard part is after you're finished your license to get a job and to get trained within a company to start flying with them. Because obviously, anyone can kind of pay for a license and go through that. But the hard part is getting a job afterward.
And you did get a job, it sounds like. That's why you're in Squamish. And
I did.
Does it ever get boring? I mean, because I've been in a couple helicopters and it's always super exciting to me, but I don't do it every day. Does it eventually get to be a job, or it's just like, oh, we're going here?
Yeah, it's a job for sure. Sometimes, like any job, you're like, okay, this is my job now. And it does get boring. But then you kind of look around and you're like, oh, this is actually still pretty cool. but it definitely does. Like any job.
Have there been any close calls in the helicopter world for you?
No, nothing too scary.
Good.
No.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll get to Revelstoke now. So you moved to Revelstoke, and so do the other blondes, the whole crew. But you've told the story 100 different times, I feel like. You guys all meet at Revelstoke. You guys bond quickly over beer and skiing, and you decide you want to start a ski crew. Was it really like love at first sight between you three? Like when you guys all kind of met each other, was it like, holy shit, we are best friends right away?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just us three, but like all of the people that we met in Revelstoke that was kind of skiing around. Like, yeah, we all got along super well. And yeah, we had a good group there. So yeah, it was, I would say.
Were you the three girls of the group, or were there other girls part of it, and then you guys just created the blondes between yourselves because you were tighter than the other ones?
I mean, there was other girls around, but yeah, that was like the main crew that we were skiing with. Our other friend, she was a big instigator of starting the crew, actually. She kind of convinced us to get snowmobiles and start the crew, and she's kind of the unofficial manager of the blondes.
Is that Army?
No, but she's the unofficial other boss of the blondes too. It's Amber Nelson. She's a snowboarder. She lives in Washington now, but yeah.
So the brains behind the Canadian ski crew is a snowboarder living in America. Yeah. You guys get a camera, you guys put together some footage, and you drop that first edit. I forget what it was called, but it had an overnight success type thing to it. Did you guys go from like nobody knowing you and no followers on the internet to like 2 weeks later having 10,000 people and being like, holy shit, people know who we are?
Not exactly, but looking back at it, it feels that way. But it wasn't like everyone was watching it, but that's definitely where it started for sure. Yeah.
So those edits started to get people talking about you guys. And then was the next big thing the whole intersection thing at WSI?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the first official year that we were doing it.
It was like the end of that season, right? And it's like WSI's the big celebration. They have this video contest, and Alex Armstrong's like, hey, you guys need to do this with me.
Yep, she signed us up for it, and we got like every girl that we knew. We were like, let's make a video in Whistler. We like didn't even know anything about anything. We didn't even have a filmer or had sledded in Whistler before, I don't think. Like, we were just brand new. We're like, yeah, we're just going to go to Whistler and make a video.
Well, most people, when they're going to make an edit, they usually have a filmer, but they also don't call like 40 people and say, hey, we're going to have like the biggest shoot ever, because when you do that, it's a total fucking shit show. And you probably ended up having to hurt people's feelings saying you couldn't come eventually.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's feelings were hurt. Like, there was some mega drama. And yeah, we were like, well, I think that was kind of a bad idea. But anyways, we still made the edit, and it was super awesome. In hindsight, we're like, well, that was pretty cool. And everyone's all good now, for sure. We're all friends again. But at the time, it wasn't a good idea. No.
But you guys meant well. You guys are like, the more girls, the better. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, we were like, oh yeah, we're just going to go up and it's going to be so, I don't know. We're delusional for sure.
But that ends that year with like a big deal for you guys, because you have the intersection win, you have the edit, so there's momentum going around. And then at this biggest event in skiing at the end of the year, you guys are the talk of the town for one of the nights, one of the biggest nights there. And is that how kind of sponsorship starts for you guys, or where did that come from?
Yeah, I think so. Because that following year, I mean, our friend Ryan in Revelstoke was actually a huge driving force with our sponsorship with the North Face. So me and Janelle went and met him, and he's like just kind of a really great community guy, and he tries to help out all the young shredders there. He owns like an not resort, but
hostel.
Yeah, exactly, in Revelstoke there. And yeah, so that's kind of where our North Face contacts started, and then obviously the edits helped out with that, and they kept watching those, and kind of snowballed from there. But yeah, probably from that Whistler intersections thing. I think that's how we snagged Atomic too.
I mean, you make a big splash there, and when it rains, it pours. So it's like you're going to get one, you're going to get Atomic. Smith probably comes soon after that, too.
Yeah.
Were there other people that jumped on the Blondes bandwagon? Because the beer really didn't do that much for you, although the beer was the inspiration for it, was drinking beer, like a cheap Bass beer, and they didn't really see your vision, unfortunately. They gave you a couple cases of beer. But who were the brands that did see you, other than Atomic, Smith, and the North Face, which are all awesome brands to be associated with?
Yeah. We've kind of, I want to say, like, had smaller relationships with other brands, and they've all been, super helpful. But Dakine, I think, helped us out with backpacks out the start, and I don't know, a bunch of like other smaller brands, but those were like the major ones that were really supporting us. So, yeah.
It's time for my second round of sponsors, and I'm going to start things out with Outdoor Research. I've been using OR products since I moved to Seattle almost 25 years ago because they outperform everything on the market. I mean, they build their products to perform in the wet and soggy cold weather of the Pacific Northwest. And when you live where we do, you need to have the best in class. While OR has always been known for building industry-leading gear for mountaineers, skiers, and snowboarders, they've gone all in on an award-winning bike line that FreeHub describes as Outdoor Research has once again raised the bar, offering riding gear that's not just functional but also stylish and durable. That meticulous design and thoughtful engineering of the Freewheel collection have the power to transform the mountain biking experience. So high praise, and Outdoor Research is doing a lot of things on the athlete side. While they launched with an incredible team, they had the Van Steenbergen brothers, Georgia Astley. This year, they've added Casey Brown, Carson Storch, and others. And between the athletes and the events they support, while OR might be new to the bike world, they've always lived it, and there's not many brands doing what OR is doing in the world of bike. To see the new products and what the hype is all about, head on over to outdoorresearch.com. My final sponsor is Stanley, the iconic Northwest brand that invented the category of keeping things hot and cold over 100 years ago. You remember Stanley from your grandfather's green thermos that kept his coffee hot forever when he took you out on adventures. Well, Stanley still makes that bottle and so much more. Think tumblers, water bottles, barware, camping utensils, coolers, vacuum bottles. There really is something for everyone at Stanley. And between the unique colors and the collaborations that Stanley's doing, there really is something for everyone in the Stanley line. And they're not going to gouge you with crazy prices. Stanley is the originator, and they pride themselves on providing you and me with the best products at the best value. And that value gets even better when you shop with my code. To use it, head on over to stanley1913.com, go shopping, and buy a ton of stuff because, like I said, this code is 30% off. It's the best deal that Stanley offers. And when you check out, enter the code capital P-O-W-E-L-L. That's Powell 2025. So no spaces in between that. Capital P-O-W-E-L-L 2025. That's where you get your code. Thank you very much for the support, Stanley. They make the best gear in the world. You've seen them everywhere. And if you don't have one, you definitely need one. Those are my sponsors. Now let's jump back into the podcast. Was it always a package deal? I mean, I know in outerwear now it's not a package deal, but did it feel like, especially in those first couple years, that you guys weren't individuals? You were just the Blondes?
Oh yeah. We got our first like contract with sponsors where we're all together.
So everything's divided by 3, and if you're doing that, I'm thinking that none of you guys can not work. Everybody has to have a job to pay the bills, and you probably have the best job because you're flying helicopters.
Yeah, that was a little bit later, but yeah, we all had to work for sure. We were working in the summer and the winter throughout the start for sure, because we weren't living off the sponsorships for sure.
Was there a time though that you were able to do that you were able to pay your rent, pay for your food and your travel, and you didn't have to work a job and sponsorship paid for that for you?
No. No. Maybe now, but it's seasonal, right? Like, it's still a seasonal job for the most part. So that kind of makes sense to me, Like, I don't expect to live all year, but.
Well, there's dudes, though, that I think that make a full-time living doing it. You have to have like 4 or 5 sponsors. And I think there's dudes probably at your level that are doing that too, but.
Yeah, people do it for sure. I don't think I would do well though. I mean, I say that in like sure I'll probably find some more hobbies. I like working though. I really do. People are like, oh, like maybe after this edit, you won't be. I was like, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't working in the summer. I would be bored.
All right. Well, I would say when you are a professional skier and a professional skier, the way you've done it, the highlight is traveling the world and shooting video parts. And is there a way to think of like your number one all-time trip where everything lined up?
Oh, number one all-time trip. Just off the top of my head, it'd be between two, actually. I think overall, our best year was when we filmed our second year. So it was a 2-year project, the Blondes video there.
Okay.
With Simon and Clay.
How did we get here, that one?
Yeah, with CK9. Those guys are so awesome. Well, okay, so we did like basically 3 major trips. We did one to Troll, which was super fun to show the girls kind of where I grew up and all that stuff. And we got to ski with like all the Groms up at Troll, which was cool. And then we went to Norway to see where Tanya grew up. Kind of. Not grew up, but we
like
just
skied?
went skiing in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that trip was super special. And then when all 3 of us went to Japan for the first time. Japan is just another world. I don't know if you've been there.
I haven't been there. I've had opportunities. I didn't go. I regret it to this day.
Oh, you gotta go. Yeah, it's unreal.
I mean, and it's like the skiing I hear, especially if you go in that January, February period, is 10 out of 10. But then the culture is 10 out of 10. And then I hear 7-Eleven is like worth a trip itself.
It's so true. Yeah. The 7-Eleven is like the best part. When you've never been there, just go to the Lawson. It's just the best. Yeah. Everything's different. Everything's weird.
And is that why that place is like an all-time trip, just because of the culture as well? I mean, because you can get good snow, I guess, all over the world, but you probably can't get those experiences everywhere.
Yeah. And the snow is like the best. When it really snows, a big storm hits, it's like so light. You can, it is crazy.
Okay.
It's not a myth. It's true.
So Japan is something that everybody needs to experience. I need to especially. You said you're talking about shooting with the CK9 guys, and you're saying how awesome they were, and you're laughing and you're giggling. But you've also shot with Matchstick and you've shot with TGR. And what are the biggest differences between the 3 outfits? Because I'm sure everybody has their own kind of personality.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's different with every like filmer. It's not like you go with the MSP crew every time. Sometimes the filmers change, and they're all amazing as well. It was just a little bit different that year because, it was all of us 3 all the time, and we were all working towards the common goal of making this project come out. So, we got pretty close after all of that. But MSP, TGR, CK9, I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't just be like a few differences. Like you said, it would just be, different filmers, different trips, and they're all great. I have literally nothing bad to say about any of them.
All right, Atomic comes up and they're like, hey, we can only put you in one project this year. And MSP wants to shoot with you, TGR wants to shoot with you, and CK9 does. And CK9's got a movie this year that's going to be as big as the MSP and TGR movie. Who do you shoot with?
No comment.
All right. I like that. That's the safe way to do it. And when you think about you filming, I'm sure you've had your rookie moments out there. I mean, have you had that moment where you forget to call that you're dropping in and everybody's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, I don't think I've forgotten to call in, actually.
Okay.
Not yet in my career. I've done, lots of dumb things, though. I don't even know where to start.
I mean, it probably all starts with snowmobiling, right? That's got to be a really tough way to learn how to get into the backcountry.
Yes, yeah. A lot of stucks. The first year of our project, we filmed with Aaron Leland a lot of it, and he's like a super good sledder out of Squamish, and he was, I would say, a little overconfident in all of us, which was so awesome and nice for us because we learned a ton that year because we weren't great sledders, but now we're a little better because of Aaron Leland putting us out there. Yeah, believing in us He'd be like, "Oh yeah, you girls got this." He'd be like, "You'll be fine," and we'd just be like so far out there, like, what are we doing out here?
And I'm sure there's a lot of tears along the way too. I mean, probably before him and during, like just trying to figure out how to get your sled unstuck.
Oh yeah, yeah. So many tears, so many meltdowns. We are girls after all.
Well, I mean, I'm sure guys would just have anger and panic. It's just people react differently. But either way, I mean, there's the same emotions happen, I'm sure, when you're stuck and you can't get your sled out. And dudes have it just as much as girls do.
Yeah. No, we've had a lot of good times and a lot of tears for sure.
And I'd say, though, the cool thing about your career, I kind of acknowledged it earlier, is like you don't come from this world-class pedigree. Like you're a pro skier, but if you look at your pro skiing resume, it's like, wow, it's crazy she made it this far because you're not a contest kid. You're not a big mountain competitor. I mean, you did them all. You did every different type of thing, but it wasn't like you excelled in everything. I mean, you did a couple things here and there, but it wasn't like you were the standout everywhere, every contest, that kid. And you came up with a cool crew in the Blondes, and you guys created something that was special that catapulted your ski career. So while you're going on these trips with all these incredible ski companies, especially in the beginning, did it almost feel like you had imposter syndrome or something like that? Like you didn't belong? Like, how am I here on this crazy trip?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I still have a little bit of that.
Well, I would think you've gotten it over it now because you've proved that time and time again that you can deliver when the cameras are on you, which is what you need to do. But in the beginning, I'm sure when you're going on an MSP shoot, like after Intersection and you have that shit show of a shoot that ends up winning this award, and then the next year people are talking about sending you to Alaska, that's got to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing can prepare you for Alaska, but I mean, yeah, it's true though, and it is good for, all the young kids to hear, I think, that it doesn't matter if you're like the biggest racer or the best, at one thing. Like, it's just skiing at the end of the day, and if you ski enough, then you're gonna be good at it, and you can do anything.
I mean, you girls were just trying to have fun and do something cool. And it almost manufactured 3 ski careers that will go on for a decade because you guys found your little niche and made it happen. And you kind of inspired a whole generation of people.
Yeah, we really snuck in there.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't sneaking in there. It was just like, it was finding a way, but you weren't trying to. It was just like you were doing shit for fun, right?
Yeah, pretty cool.
And so now when you go on a trip with like a crew of like Finn Billis and Colby Stevenson and Crazy Carl, some of the most progressive riders in the world, does it change the way you ski? Like, do you almost have to take more risk when you're with guys like that?
Oh yeah, that trip was insane. The first run that we did in Alaska with those 3, I was like, oh my God, like, what am I doing here? But it did. I for sure. That trip was like one of the best trips ever. It was like Alaska, full throttle. I was like, yeah, all right. I'll ski that too then, I guess. Like, I'm here. I'll do it. It was awesome.
Do they take you under their wing too and kind of like give you pointers and kind of point stuff out like, hey, we're going to make sure you have the opportunity for as much success as possible?
Yeah, they were so great. Like, they would coach me on the radio, like halfway down the line. They'd be like, okay, Emma, you got this. Like, I remember Carl got on the radio, I think the first one to do it. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. Because he could tell. He's like, oh, hopefully she knows where she's going and shit. And they were so supportive, like, oh yeah, Emma, you should ski this line over here. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you think I got that? And they were like, yeah, for sure. And yeah, they were the best. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about a heavy crew to go skiing with, I mean, it's harder to think that you'll go on another trip with more talent at one point.
I know. Yeah, I know. I probably won't.
I mean, it's just all 3. Like if there is a Hall of Fame, but they don't put skiers like you guys in it, unfortunately, because they don't know what they're doing. You should see the latest class. It was very weird. And I'm on the committees of all this nominating stuff, so I'm almost embarrassed by it, but whatever. But these guys are first ballot Hall of Fame skiers. And and you're going to the biggest terrain in the world with them. So that's pretty insane. What scared you the most in Alaska?
The whole thing, like every time we were doing anything. There was one wall that was probably the scariest. And I was like all alone. They had to like hike around the back and go to like the other side. And oh yeah, I don't think I've been more scared skiing than that. It was like a funnel almost. I think
Okay.
it was called the Colopinator or something. And it was steep and scary.
Well, that's what you sign up for when you do what you do. And maybe when you were 13, you didn't intend to be skiing in Alaska, but that's what happened. And for the
True.
Blondes, it blew up, and it was like kind of the crescendo of what you guys did was the 2-year project. I think North Face presented it. And I think, were you the like head of production for that whole thing? Did you put all the trips together?
No, Janelle was the production assistant, but she went through that injury.
Yeah.
But she was more involved with the trip planning, and she actually worked at the CK9 office there for the summer. So yeah, she was the production assistant.
So for all the stuff that you've been doing, have you pretty much been just a skier and not have to worry about the details around everything else?
Like, no, there's a lot of background things that you have to do, admin stuff.
But you're not planning the
Sure, yeah.
trips and making sure that everybody's going to be here at this time and we've hired this filmer and I'm managing this budget and
Right.
that's
Yeah.
out of
No.
your hands.
Yep.
It's like
Pretty
you make sure
Yeah.
that you're in the right place and that you deliver when it's time to drop in.
Yeah. I mean, for the project that we did, obviously we kind of had to like all work together. And that was like one of the harder parts about it, is lining up all of our schedules and making sure that we can make things work. And I guess like the troll trip was organized more or less by myself. But for the most part, no, I just show up, which is great.
Well, that movie came out really well, and I think, everybody can kind of see the story of the Blondes come together in that 22-minute feature or however long it is. But in thinking about it, was that almost like the crescendo of the Blondes, where like people have been talking about you guys for like 5 years? You finally have the movie come out, it tells your story, and then you guys need like a break after that where it's like, hey, now we got to each pursue our own career a little bit?
Yeah, that's kind of how it happened. So that's kind of where we are now. I don't have anything down the line yet, but anything's possible. So
Yeah, because I would think there was tons of momentum and opportunity with you guys, the power of 3. And you can only sell that story every year for 5-6 years. Then you put out the big movie, and then, it's like it's hard to do the Blondes too. So
yeah,
now it's like you really have to work to be a pro skier, because with the Blondes, at one point it was on cruise control. And now it's really like cobbling things together to make shit happen.
yeah. I don't know if it's harder or easier because you're just kind of looking after yourself. You don't have like the joint email account to respond to and things, but yeah, it's just different, I guess.
Okay. And so where are we going to see you this year? And you said you don't have plans yet for what's going to happen next year, or what are we thinking?
I don't have big plans, but hopefully we'll get back with MSP and do some more filming with the North Face. And yeah, I'm still in summer mode, but we'll start planning something soon.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit early. It's like movie tour season. But at this point in the podcast, we're pretty much through basically the interview, and it's time for something that I call Inappropriate Questions. I think you know about this because I was able to get you to ask inappropriate questions to Janelle a long time ago. And then I went to Janelle and I was like, hey, she asked you 3 inappropriate questions. I think you should ask her 3 inappropriate questions. And she was like, yeah, I should do that. I wasn't able to get her on the line. She sent the inappropriate questions over. I'm not going to try to do her voice, but
You should, though.
I can try. I mean, I can try to do her voice, but I just don't do it very. I mean, I'll just sound terrible. But either way, I'll try. She is one of your partners in crime in the Blondes. She is going to ask the inappropriate questions. I now have Janelle Yip on the line for question number 1. Janelle, can you fire it away? Ken, it is so nice to have you here, Emily. Do you have any big news that you want to share?
Do I have any big news that I want to share? Oh, she's talking about I got engaged this summer. So
Oh, congratulations.
that's the big news.
Were you pregnant first, or did you get engaged first?
No, I'm not pregnant.
Okay, because sometimes people do that. I know that personally, that it happens at times.
hope no baby.
All right. Well, congratulations on that. How did it happen?
So we were boating with my family, my uncle and my cousins were there, my sister, my dad on his boat. And we basically went to this island, hung out for the day, and then we had to take 2 trips in the boat. So my dad was ferrying them back. So it was just me and my boyfriend there. And he totally surprised me, got down on one knee there. And yeah, it was pretty awesome. He did a good job.
Did he ask your dad beforehand?
He asked him right after, because he didn't get a chance before, but my dad was stoked, so it was good.
All right. And then her second inappropriate question, will you get Oscar neutered?
We're unsure at this point.
Well, you do that after the wedding and after you have your first kid, right?
Maybe we'll have some puppies. I don't know.
Oh, Oscar's not your fiance.
Oscar's my dog.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought she was making like an Oscar Mayer joke, and I was like, I got it. Pretty funny. Yeah. Well, all right. So Oscar may have some pup. What kind of dog do you have?
Yellow lab.
Okay. All right. Well, we will go with your final inappropriate question. Tell us about the time that you lived in a van.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
How long did you live in a van?
Not very long. It was less of like living in my van, and that was kind of like the backup plan, I think. And then I ended up just crashing on my friend's couch in Revelstoke, and that was kind of when we all met. But we called my little purple, I think it was like a Chrysler? I don't know. It was like a mom minivan type thing, and we named it Ron.
Okay.
And it just had like a shitty little bed in the back, and turns out Revelstoke's pretty cold in the winter, so I ended up just kind of crashing at my friend's house there.
Did you have that one terrible night in Ron where you were like crying and you're like, how did I get here? What happened? And then you were like, I'm never staying in Ron again. And then you stayed at your friend's place?
Yeah, probably more than once. Oh, there's a pretty good Ron story. Actually, me and my friends went skiing at Mount Baker in Washington.
Yes.
We took Ron, the van, and as we were driving back, it broke down right as we were talking to the Canadian custom officer. I was like, oh, my car just broke down, and the custom officers had to get out and push it across the border.
No way. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And then that was kind of the end of the van. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's van life. That's Inappropriate Questions, and that's our podcast. And what's crazy about your ski career is that you made it happen. Like you said, the kids should kind of know that if you want something and you're passionate about it, it can really happen, because you didn't have super ton of success in any element of your ski career coming up. You're just really good. And then people like you usually go to college and make more money than you could ever make as a struggling pro skier. And then you take that money and go on epic ski trips. But that's not what you did. You went for it. You found a ski crew. You used tools like talent, personality, and the internet to make a full-on pro ski career out of it with posters, movie parts, and everything. And that's a really, really hard thing to do. And thank you for telling us how you did it. And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah, really a pleasure chatting with you.
So that was the podcast. And Emily Childs is amazing. Not only is she a pilot, but she created a pro ski career and has traveled the world on someone else's dime to ski. And to think, all of this came to be because she's a badass skier, and her and her 2 friends really liked a certain type of beer and started a ski crew around it. That's pretty amazing. I would say more, but I'm heading out to the Mariners baseball game. While I'm not a fan of baseball at all, I bought tickets a month ago hoping that the Mariners would make the playoffs or be in the race so my kid and I could have a great experience at one of their games. Well, the $30 ticket I bought a month ago is now worth $200, and we get to see some dude named Cal Ripken go for the non-steroid home run record. It should be fun, but let's get real. It's going to be boring because it's baseball. But that's the show this week. At this point, all I have for you is to say thank you for listening and ask you to support my incredible sponsors who make this podcast happen each week. They are Liquid Force, Elan Skis, Stanley, Best Day Brewing, and Outdoor Research. Have a great week, everyone.